Man, guys, do you ever feel like your group is just stuck? Like there's some invisible brick wall that's been building up in your group, and now you're just standing at the bottom of it, not sure how to climb over because it's become so big?
Missed it by that much.
Maybe people in your group are discouraged, or bad habits have formed, or group members aren't pursuing the commitments that they once made to one another, or maybe your group just kind of feels like it's running in slow motion. Wherever you're at, it could be that you need a reset, a checkup, a reboot. So in this video, we're gonna give you 6 steps to help you relationally reboot your group, and then we're gonna tell you the secret to keeping your group running at maximum speed. No, I said maximum speed. Much better. Hey guys, I'm Steve and this is Level Up, the monthly dose of leadership training that will help you take your next level group to the next level. What's the first thing every computer tech guy will say when you call him with a computer issue?
Hello, IT. Have you tried turning it off and on again?
That's right. They'll tell you to reboot your computer, to turn it off and turn it back on. But why? Well, maybe it needs an update, or maybe it's out of RAM, or it's in this funky state. It's like sometimes the longer your computer is on, the more junk accumulates that clogs it up. When you restart, it gives you a bit of a clean slate, and 75% of the time, it fixes the problem. In the same way, sometimes things can get kind of lodged into your group's operating system, and you as a group leader just need to hit that reboot button to allow your group some time to recalibrate and get back to that clean slate. So consider this video a guide for how to relationally reboot your group. We're going to give you 6 steps that you can use in your group meeting that will help you reboot, and then we're going to share the relational secret to keeping your group healthy. So let's dive in. Step 1 is to refocus on your purpose. And the best way to do this is to actually pull out that covenant that you made, the commitment that you made at the outset of your group's life together. Read that covenant through together, having each person read one portion. And this will be a great starting point to allowing your group to refocus on what the group is all about. Simple, but it works. After you've done that, Step 2 is to expose the threats. Now, no doubt, as your group has been reading through the covenant, people have been beginning to think about the areas where the group might be falling short. So how do we get some of those areas, some of those threats on the table? Here's the suggestion. Write the word threats on the top left corner of a whiteboard, and then list some of those threats with your group. Brainstorm together in answer to this question. What are the threats or hindrances that prevent us from keeping our covenant commitments with one another? At the end of your brainstorm, you should have 15 to 20 hindrances written down that your group is facing. Now, if you want an example of what this could look like or what to expect, I've included the brainstorm that one of my groups did together in the show notes below. Okay, after you've done covenant, after you've done the threats, step 3 is to build strengths. So start by writing strengths in the top right corner of your whiteboard, and then have everyone brainstorm again in a similar way, but this time with regard to the strengths that you have in your group. So strengths can take 2 different approaches. We can do general strengths that the group has. For example, we are a very good group at coming all on time to group meetings. But the second option is to share more personally and more specifically. For example, John, you have been an example to all of us in your commitment to attending meetings this past year. I don't think you've missed one of them. Great job. We think the second option is actually better and more preferred because it has a real great potential to build a culture of affirmation. Remember to note all these strengths down and then have them side by side on the whiteboard. After you've done that, thank everyone for their participation in the activity. Now, we've got a couple more steps that we want to share with you, and then the relational secret for keeping your group healthy. But before I do that, I want to invite you to hit the subscribe button below, and then the little church bell as well right beside it. We'd love to have you tracking with us when we release new monthly training videos just like this one, especially if you're a next level group leader. And if you like what you hear, please click the thumbs up too. All right, we're into step 4, and step 4 is open up personally. Start this step by reading again through that list of threats that's on the left side of your whiteboard. Then ask each person in the group to identify 1 or 2 areas where he's personally kind of dropping the ball. Now, this is a great spot to pray. Pray thanking God for His work in helping the group process so far. And thank God for the strengths that He's been growing in people that were revealed in step 2. And then ask Him to convict your hearts about the areas that your group members and you might need to grow in personally. Maybe even pause and leave space for men to consider quietly the areas where they may have missed the mark. After praying, go around the group and ask each guy to share 1 or 2 areas where he's been dropping the ball when it comes to his relational investment in the group. Now, if somebody gives a vague answer, which is probably going to happen, consider asking a follow-up. For example, here's a vague answer. Someone might share that they're weak in the area of participation. They haven't been participating very much. You could follow up that question by asking them to share what type of participation they're weak in. We want to go deep, we want to be specific in sharing these areas. Step 5 is this: orient toward personal goals. Go around the table again and ask the people to share 1 area that they would like to commit to growing in this coming season. Again, ask them to be specific. It's really important. As they're doing that, write down these commitments as a group, and then as a group, commit to reviewing them briefly at every 2nd or 3rd meeting in the coming season. Then pray and ask God to empower you to grow in these areas. Okay, now step 6. Step 6 is to take note of specific issues. And step 6 is unique because there may be some areas of tension or division in the group that are specific and need some real careful attention. These probably actually rose to the surface during your brainstorming about threats time in step 2. Don't ignore these. Make sure you write them down and begin praying about how to address them specifically. Work with your co-leader, actually, to come up with a plan for how to begin to address these in the following 2 or 3 weeks. In fact, maybe one of these issues becomes the topic for your next Bible study or book. So step 1 to 5 will really help build a valuable foundation, and upon that, you can then begin to address these more specific issues. Okay, so what's the secret? What's the secret to keeping your group healthy? The secret is this. Are you ready? Don't just reboot the group when there are issues. Just like there's a lot of good reason to believe that rebooting your computer occasionally will give it that reset that it needs before it encounters an issue, just like it's better to brush your teeth twice a day instead of depending on the dentist to fix all your issues once a year, yuck, it is vital that you don't wait until your group feels like it's falling apart to do this reboot process. In fact, we think this would be a really healthy process to engage in on a regular basis within your group's rhythms. There's no one size fits all, but every 4 to 6 months would be a healthy rhythm for many groups. In the show notes below, you're going to find a 1-page summary of today's video, as well as an example of that brainstorm that I was talking about that one of my groups did about the threats we were facing in that particular season. You can find that below. Group leaders, we are so grateful for you. Thank you for all of the investment that you make in your group. We're praying for you as you seek to reboot and get started well in this particular season of your group's life. Thanks.